He waited 73 years to wear the crown, and just months into his reign, he was told something no king is ever ready to hear: cancer. No throne is immune to time, and Charles's greatest test came not from politics or scandal, but from his own body. This is Crown Buzz channel. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Let's begin. When Buckingham Palace confirmed that King Charles III was undergoing treatment for an undisclosed form of cancer, the public's reaction was swift and mixed: shock, sympathy, skepticism. Was the king all right? What kind of cancer was it? How serious was the diagnosis? But the palace didn't share much. A brief statement. He promised he was remaining positive. And then silence. For a monarch just beginning to define his legacy, it was a devastating curveball. The spotlight, once fixed on how he'd modernize the monarchy, now shifted to his health. And in that moment, amid public worry and private uncertainty, King Charles faced the most difficult challenge of his life. Charles disappeared from public view after the diagnosis, at least physically. While undergoing treatment, he stepped back from frontline royal duties, limiting his schedule and allowing others, like Queen Camilla and Prince William, to take on more prominent roles. But this retreat wasn't total. In carefully curated photos and surprise appearances, the king began crafting a different narrative, one that emphasized calm, continuity, and dignity. He met cancer patients at hospitals. He hosted foreign dignitaries in private. He even issued handwritten Easter cards, a personal touch that signaled he was still very much present, just not center stage. This wasn't a disappearance, it was a repositioning. And whether intentional or instinctive, it marked the beginning of a new kind of royal leadership, one built on transparency, subtlety, and emotional intelligence, not spectacle. For most of his life, Charles was viewed as a placeholder, the eternal Prince of Wales waiting in line, often overshadowed by his mother's long and stable reign. Many wondered, would he ever truly matter? But now, through illness, something unexpected was happening. The king was being seen as human, not just as a symbol, but as a person, a man in his 70s confronting a health crisis with quiet resilience, a leader not hiding behind palace walls, but subtly showing strength in vulnerability. In modern times, monarchs are expected to be relatable without being too exposed, a delicate balance Charles seems to be mastering. His illness became a mirror reflecting the fears and hopes of an aging nation. And rather than fight for public sympathy, he offered grace and service, even from behind the scenes. And in doing so, Charles began what some are calling a soft rebranding of the monarchy, trading grandeur for groundedness. Of course, with the king stepping back, the question naturally arose: who's in charge? Queen Camilla, once a controversial figure, has stepped into the role of chief surrogate with surprising strength. She's been leading engagements, offering public reassurances, and proving at last that she's not just the queen consort, but a stabilizing partner. Then there's Prince William, the heir. As his father receded temporarily, William stepped forward, giving speeches, attending state functions, and most notably, shouldering much of the monarchy's public face while supporting his own wife, Princess Catherine, through her own cancer treatment. This royal double health crisis, both the king and the Princess of Wales undergoing cancer care, could have shattered the monarchy's image. Instead, it has unified its inner circle and pushed forward a quieter, more team-oriented approach to royal duty. No drama, no headlines, just duty, shared. And for the British public, used to tabloid chaos, this unexpected calm felt oddly comforting. For years, the British monarchy has teetered between reverence and relevance, admired by some, questioned by many. In the modern age of accountability and transparency, the firm has often seemed like a relic struggling to keep pace. But Charles's illness, oddly enough, has offered a unique reset. Here was a man who had waited decades to rule, now forced to pause, yet he didn't disappear. He remained a symbol, not by projecting strength through power, but by allowing the world to see his humanity. It wasn't the flashy modern monarchy Prince Harry once imagined. It wasn't the stoic symbolism of Queen Elizabeth either. It was something quieter, more personal. Through small gestures, a message of thanks to the public, a photograph with his red dispatch box, a brief walkabout at Windsor, Charles showed a new kind of monarch. One who doesn't need to be seen daily, but when he is, feels real. And for a crown often accused of being out of touch, this shift toward authenticity may be the most radical rebrand yet. Still, the question lingers, what if the king's illness worsens? Technically, the Regency Acts allow another royal, most likely Prince William, to be appointed as regent should the monarch be incapacitated. But Charles has shown no signs of stepping aside. For now, he continues a reduced schedule, carefully balancing rest with responsibility. But behind palace doors, contingency plans are likely being whispered. At 75, Charles is already the oldest monarch to ascend the throne. The institution has little room for uncertainty, especially now with public trust delicate and global scrutiny intense. Yet the monarchy is doing something remarkable, adapting, not through bold reforms or political reinvention, but through the oldest tool in the royal playbook, symbolism. The image of a father fighting illness while his son supports him has subtly reframed the firm as a family again, not a corporation. It's the kind of story people recognize, and perhaps one they can root for. Charles may never fit the mold of a modern media monarch. He doesn't post on social media, he doesn't go viral, he doesn't command adoration with pageantry or flash the way his late ex-wife Diana once did. And yet, in an era oversaturated with spectacle, perhaps that's exactly why his reign matters. Because King Charles isn't performing monarchy. He's living it, day by day, treatment by treatment, responsibility by responsibility. What he's offering is something far more grounded, a demonstration of leadership that embraces vulnerability. He attends chemotherapy, then attends state functions. He shares his diagnosis not to elicit sympathy, but to humanize a role that for centuries has been cloaked in mystery. By doing so, he challenges the monarchy's long-standing aversion to transparency, replacing silence with sincerity. In showing up not as an untouchable figurehead, but as an aging man facing illness with resolve, Charles quietly shifts the narrative. He presents a version of royalty that is relatable, dignified, and in tune with the realities of life in the 21st century. No sweeping reforms, no dramatic breaks from tradition, just the strength to evolve without abandoning the institution's core. This is not a reign of revolution. It's a reign of resilience, of adaptability, of human grace. In a time when loud leadership often breeds division, Charles's steady presence stands apart. And in that quiet steadiness, in the very ordinariness of his strength, he may be crafting the most relevant monarchy of all. One that endures not through spectacle, but through substance. When the day finally comes, be it years from now or sooner than expected, King Charles may not be remembered for revolutionizing the monarchy, but he may be remembered for softening it, for showing that royal strength doesn't always come from ceremony or spectacle, but from dignity and vulnerability. For proving that legacy can be less about changing everything and more about facing change with grace. And maybe, just maybe, for giving Britain something it didn't expect. A king who didn't try to be larger than life, but human enough to matter. Can King Charles redefine royal leadership through illness and restraint? Or will history remember his reign as a footnote between Elizabeth and William? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching Crown Buzz. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that pulls back the palace curtain. Until next time, stay curious.